Hey guys, welcome back to CMTEQ channel. This is tutorial number 10 on our series of learning C programming by coding. Now in this tutorial, you're going to learn how to determine whether a number is even or odd. Now what is an even number? Well, an even number is a number that can be divided by 2. Obviously, any number can be divided by 2, but an even number is a number that if you divide it by 2, you're not going to get a comma value. An example would be number 10. If you divide 10 by 2, you're going to get 5. Okay, so 10 is an even number, but 5 is not an even number, because if you divide 5 by 2, you're getting 2.5, and 2.5 has a decimal part. So that means 5 is not an even number, but it's an odd number. So that's the difference between an even and odd number. So in this C programming code, we're going to write a script that will be able to tell us what type of number you enter, whether it's an even or odd number. Okay, so this is how you learn C programming, by practicing this simple task. Now, without wasting any further time, let's get coding. And don't forget to subscribe to CMTEQ channel and give this tutorial a thumbs up. That's the only thing I'm asking. You can just like the tutorial and subscribe to CMTEQ channel for more tutorial like this. Okay, that will be highly appreciated. Now, as always, you know you have to start with your variable declaration. Unless you're not making use of any variable in your code, you have to declare your variable. Now, in this case, we're going to compare two numbers. Okay, we're going to compare, basically, we're going to distinguish whether a number is even or odd. So, which means we're talking about one number only. So, you can just go ahead and say int num, because it's only one number that the user is going to enter. So then you need to ask the user to enter a number. Okay, like we've done in the previous tutorial, you're just going to say, please enter a number, like that. Now the user is going to enter a number, and you need to handle it with the famous scanf function that we have already seen in our previous tutorial. So that will be %d. Okay, and then you're going to reference the num to hold the variable that the user is going to enter, just like that. So now you are able to handle the number that the user is entering. So the next thing is then to code the part that is going to handle the comparison or the checking whether the number is even or odd. Now, it's always important to write a comment, so you can then just go ahead and write any comment you want to write to illustrate what you are doing. I will say this statement return true if num is even. So I'm already saying that I'm going to write an if statement here, and it's going to return true if the number is even. Now we're going to write our if condition that we are checking. Now in the if condition, we're going to check whether the number is even. How do we do that? We're going to say if num modulo 2 is equal to 0. So this expression here means that this value, so this means if num modulo of 2 is equal to 0, that means the number is even. Because remember, an even number is a number that is divisible by 2. So if this condition is true, then the number is even. So we're going to then print. Okay, what are we printing? We're printing %d, the integer, is even. But which integer? And that is num that we are passing there. Then what if that condition is false? That means if this condition here is false, then we are not printing this statement here. So we are jumping in the else. And in the else, we are printing another statement. So if that condition is false, that means the number is what? Is odd. So we're going to have percentage %t is odd, and we're going to pass num there. Just like that. So we've completed already the checking just by writing this. Now we can go ahead and run this program and see what the result will come. And hopefully we haven't made any mistake in our script here. So let's go ahead and run the program. Okay, it's a undefined reference print. Okay, print F. We are missing an F there. You see, that's a quick typo error, and we did the same thing on the second condition there as well. Okay, so now it's fixed, and let's run it again. Hopefully there won't be no problem this time around. Okay, there is no problem. So please enter a number. Let's go ahead with our famous 10 number. What does it say? It says 10 is even. Exactly. Why? Because 10 can be divided by 2. So I'm going to stop it and run it again. And this time let's enter 5. It says 5 is odd. Obviously, because if we divide 5 by 2, we're getting a comma separated number. This is why this statement here does not return a 0. It returns a 1. So that means it's false. So we jump straight here and we print this one here. Now there is another method to do this checking of whether a number is even or odd. That is making use of the ternary operator. Now the ternary operator is basically a line of expression for C. So it goes like this. We open parentheses, we say A greater than B. So we are comparing. So if A is greater than B, okay, we ask a question. We ask a question. If A is greater than B, okay, then we're going to print A. Okay, so if A is greater than B, our answer will be yes, A is greater than B. But if A is not greater than B, then the answer will be B itself. Okay, so this is basically how the ternary operator is executed. So these are the two outputs, whether it's A or B. But these outputs here will depend on whether this condition is true. So if A is indeed greater than B, then the answer will be A. But if that is false, then the answer will be B. So that is how the ternary operator is executed. So I'm just going to write a comment here. Ternary operator. Okay. Now, I'm going to leave it exactly as it is, but this time I'm just going to replace it with our statement. So instead of A is greater than B, I'm going to replace it with our statement here. The same statement that is inside the if statement here. So let me just go ahead and copy it, okay, to save time here. Okay, so we paste it there. So now the same statement, if this statement is true, then what are we printing? We're printing this. Let me copy it again. But if this statement is not true, if it's false, we're printing B. So what is B? B will be this statement here. We replace B there. Then if you don't want to get problem, you have to put a semicolon there, otherwise you're getting problems. Okay, so I'm going to comment out this. Okay, I'm gonna comment that out so that our code must run only with this statement, but we're still making use of the scan and the printf. Okay, let's go ahead and run this program. Okay, please enter a number. So I'm going to go ahead and enter number 10. It said 10 is even. You can see 10 is even. I'm gonna cut it off and enter 5. 5 is odd. So the same checking is happening, but this time with the one line of code only, and that is the ternary operator that we just made use of. So that is it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. If you find anything useful, you like it, please guys, thumbs up, okay, and subscribe to CMTEQ channel. Stay tuned for tutorial number 11. Until next time, cheers.